For 15 years, I was working in the construction industry. When you think of reinforced concrete and composite carbon fiber reinforced materials, we're really talking about the same thing. Geometrically complex parts that are today mainly in metal and mainly titanium, geometrically complex shapes using carbon fiber and using a patented process that we have developed in those 10 years. It's not just black metal, but it's also real true composite design.
So Ahmet, now we went through the Busch company, a Busch Composites company. We saw the production, we saw the applications. Now a more personal question.
Yeah.
What is your background and how did you arrive into the composites world?
Okay, yeah, good question. I mean, my background, I am an engineer by training and by education. And I studied civil engineering. For 15 years, I was working in the construction industry, more on the sort of I was going to say manufacturing, but it's on the building side. So we were on building sites, building buildings and roads and bridges and so on. And so that has been my background. And then when the opportunity came to really joined Composites Busch and to lead the company 26 years ago, I saw it as a very good fit because it is taking all the experience from engineering and particularly my reinforced concrete into the world of composite, which is very similar when you think of reinforced concrete and composite carbon fiber reinforced materials. We're really talking about the same thing, about fiber placement and reinforcement placement, about matrices, whether it is resins, thermoset, thermoplastic, or concrete. Very similar world where we're trying to create forms and shapes that can transfer loads and hold loads and create these useful products that are light. And so I saw it as a very good fit on a technical point of view, but then of course the business itself and the company and the opportunities that are in composites today as a material of the future, as really the way forward to innovate and create value is immense, and I'm very excited to have taken that turn. That's not taking me too far away from where I come from, but still with a totally new horizon and new perspectives.
So you built a different careers than originally planned on construction.
Yeah.
So you are building obviously new projects and new journeys. And how important is it in general, this curiosity topic in our industry, especially because we can do so many things, mixing these materials, coupling them with new kind of processes. So how is curiosity also combined with education key for our industry?
I think it is very important, but you still need to have some focus. I mean, you have to have some, because it is so vast and large. Curiosity is good, but with focus. And so some kind of focus is essential, and that's why, because our world is so large and offering so many possibilities, we have extended our perspective to these 4 business units, and not, and within those 4, we're quite flexible, but we are restricting them to these 4, let's say, because we need to also be able to focus. And when I say focus, it's also focusing on our customers and their needs and understanding where they need to be, what are their pain points, how can we help them solve those pain points. And without this focus, without this understanding, we're not as relevant as we could be or we should be. So curiosity is very good. Learning from each other, cross-pollination is very important, whether we do it internally across our business unit or whether we do it also from our exposure to fairs and conferences, and always, this curiosity, but then bringing it back, is what we're doing creating value for our customers? And that is the question that we are now focusing on, putting the customer in the heart of what we do, and always asking our section, is this decision going in that direction of creating value for our customers? If yes, we continue. If not, we don't. And that's the focus we want to bring it. Focus on the customer, focus on their needs.
And when you say focus, obviously you take your time. So we heard about 10 years before you hit another market or even more. And how much do you benefit? I mean, there's cross-pollination on the technical level,
Yeah.
but how much you benefit from very visible markets like sports eventually brought you to medical,
Yeah.
eventually watches help you be more visible on the international field.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you approach actually aerospace, which you want to enter? Why aerospace?
Well, because aerospace, we see it as the sort of the ideal environment for composite to flourish through the need to reduce weight.
Mm-hmm.
Reduction of weight answers a lot of the problems of aerospace, and that is pollution, that is energy consumption, that is range, that is load. It's really the fight, the daily fight of a lot of the engineers and in that industry to try to reduce weight, because everything that is not reduced is flying, and to fly you need all that additional energy to fly. So really we see it as really the ideal approach to as a market that is in need of lightweight, and composite can be one of the answers to this reduction of weight and reduction of energy required to keep those beautiful things flying. So we see it as really an industry that will be, in constant needs of this lighter material, lighter weight material, and we think that composite, particularly carbon fiber composite, can bring to this market. And our approach was to how to differentiate ourselves and bring a value add, an additional value to this existing supply chain. And we focused on trying to find solutions to create geometrically complex parts that are today mainly in metal and mainly in titanium, geometrically complex shapes using carbon fiber and using a patented process that we have developed in those 10 years to try to transform high performance fibers into high performing part, albeit with complex geometry.
I guess you also the knowledge here, not black metal design, not replicating the parts
Correct.
Which are in titanium, but really based on your IP, your knowledge, develop a new solution and really propose strong solutions.
It's actually both. It's actually being able to replicate the existing design. Sometimes you have constraints on the environment that it's in, and you need that exact design. But we are also able to take it that step further by optimizing that design. It's not just black metal, but it's also real, true composite design. So we try to approach both. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't, depending on the part and its environment.
Yeah. And now, last but not least, it's a big question. I guess a lot of people are asking it. Some try already to answer. We saw also you are cooperating with Nova Carbon, doing this material based on recycling. And now the big challenge is we have high lifetime materials, very strong. They reduce the impact through lightweighting, for example, for planes. But what happens afterward, and how do you see this kind of end-of-life topic for composites?
It's a very complex topic. I don't see from our perspective and our position holding any solution to that. But what I can see and what I know is that a lot of people are working on it. And I think that our industry, the composite industry, is very much aware of this problem and of these challenges. And I think, when there is a need, and that humans are capable of finding, mobilizing and finding the right solution, especially in this case where there's so much at stake. So I think I don't know today if there is a viable solution. A lot of experimental solutions are taking place, but certainly burying in the ground tons of composites is not the solution. So it's a very dynamic environment around this recycling and repurposing. When the scale of it becomes even more significant with the end of life of all the aircrafts that are today flying with a lot of composite in them will come, the business case will be more powerful, and therefore the ideas and the energy behind it will hopefully come. and we will find solutions. At the moment, I'm not aware, maybe I'm wrong, but I know it's a challenge, and hopefully the industry will rise up to that challenge.
I mean, thank you for talking us through this journey, your personal journey, Composites Busch.
Thank you.
And see you soon.
I hope so. You're
Thank
always welcome. Thank you very much.